What if you could create more kindness in the world just by being you? Everyone has the potential to create and receive more kindness. What if kindness is more than being nice and compassionate to others? Have you ever considered what having more kindness for you could create in your life? Get ready to learn how the energy of kindness is integral to reducing stress in your life and how it can assist in healing your body. Now, here is the host of Cultivating Kindness with Karen, facilitator of healing, Karen Leslie.
Welcome, everyone. It's another Wednesday afternoon, well, at least where I'm living, and it's a wonderful day to be hanging out with you again for another episode of Cultivating Kindness with Karen. And of course, I'm Karen Leslie, your host for the next hour or so, and we have so much to talk about today. As I say to you almost every week, I hope you don't get bored of it. I say it, it comes through out of sheer excitement and anticipation and just the joy of arriving here and being with you. It just lights me up. My intuitive abilities really turn on and kick in. And sometimes that can be distracting, and sometimes it's super comforting, and it's always different. So, one of the things I was a little concerned about when I started this journey last December was that I might get bored, because I do get bored quite easily. I've never been diagnosed with, because of my age, we really didn't look at things like ADD or ADHD and that, but I'm influenced by some of those things, and I get bored really easily. Like, I really do. I require stimulation and creativity around me, and changing things up around me, I'm noticing, is a big help as well. And that was hard for me to do at one point because of my OCD that I was very aware of, that when something was sat in a place, that's where it stayed. And I benefit so much from moving things around and changing the energies around me. So all of these different influences come into play, and I show up every week with you, and it's always different. It's always fun and exciting. And I realized this morning too, and those of you who maybe follow me on both or either Facebook or LinkedIn, I put it on Instagram as well. I had this awareness this morning of how when I show up here live on my shows every week, I am truly showing up as Karen. I am more authentic, more honoring to myself, more true to who I am, more free to speak and move and do whatever I wish here, right here with you right now, than any other time, any other space, and all the other aspects of my life. And a part of that is thanks to you, to all of the people who show up and watch the show live, all of you who watch it on the replays on all of those different platforms that are literally around the world. It is thanks to you. The energy you bring when you tune in, and for those of you that show up in the chat room as well, it inspires me, it ignites me, and it brings forward a complete ease. So that may sound odd, because many people are really uncomfortable with the idea of doing something live, right? As you know, this is live. It's not scripted. It's not rehearsed. It's not taped ahead of a time. So when I make mistakes, when I fumble, and it's all good. And I never worry about any judgment or any concern from any of you. And it's okay if you judge, and it's okay if you don't agree with things that I say. And that's actually healthy perhaps for you to not to agree, because maybe I'm giving you an idea or a way of looking at something that you've never been exposed to before. And so it would be quite natural for many people to kind of go, hey, whoa, what is she talking about? And we're going to get into some of that stuff in today's show as well, right? The title today is, what is influencing you today? Now that's asked a little bit differently. Often the question will be more along the line of, you know, who is influencing you? And we think a lot about the who's in our life. Like, I was going to say influential people, but that's really not the right way to talk about it when you're using the word. Teachers, parents, people you admire and respect or trust. It could be somebody within your religious faith. It could be anybody, any really. And so we'll often ask, okay, so who's influencing you? We don't always ask that from a positive perspective. Sometimes there's an agenda attached to that question of like, well, where'd you get that idea? Who gave you that notion? That, I mean, I heard that. Whoa, now that I'm thinking about it, I heard that a lot. Where would you get that idea from as I was growing up, or even actually in my adult years when I started to change how I was looking at things in a way of healing myself? But today is, okay, so what is influencing you? What is influencing me? And I've asked this question numerous times today, partly in prep for the show to sort of bring my awareness to it, partly because it's what I ask on a regular basis. And then just before getting on the show, when before we came live, and I was sitting and I was talking with my producer, and Sarah commented on my necklace, and I said, yeah, I said, it's belonged to either my paternal grandmother or my godmother. I have two that are very similar. I said, I'm not sure. And then I'm getting fidgety and things are going on, and I'm going, oh, it's my grandmother's. And then she pops in and she said, she's so excited to be here with me today. And that brought in a fair bit of emotion. So these are all different aspects that influence us. And when we open ourselves up to being aware of all these different things, so much more is possible for each and every one of us. What is influencing you today? It goes beyond the standard answer of, my family, my boss, colleagues, the kids at school, all these other ways. And it even goes beyond our beliefs. And that is something that I talk about a lot, how strong our beliefs are in directing us, keeping us on a certain path, bringing our ideas forward for us to act on or to make choices around. Our beliefs are really strong. So I'm not going to be changing my opinion on that or reneging on anything like that. Our beliefs are like super, super strong. But I want to bring in a different element to it today. And some of it may surprise you. Some of it may be old news. That's cool too. It's always lovely to hear comments or opinions on something that reinforce something that we are, I was going to say, very committed to. We like that. The brain really likes that when that happens. And that, be perfectly honest, is not always a good thing. But again, that's another topic we're not going to get into today. So I hope to bring ideas forward for you that will create a new space of understanding and a new way for you to be looking at what is influencing you today, right? I feel I have a ton of information, expertise, and knowledge in this area from the work I've been doing for many, many decades now. One of the areas that influence us is our words, how we speak, the words we think. And I am, a language and a thought pattern coach, because most people don't understand the impact of their words or the frequency that we use a word or a number of words over and over again, how often they are in our language, spoken or unspoken, and the impact on that. And then when you have somebody that can bring this to your attention, oh my gosh, so much can happen and so much can change. And it can also dig up a lot of things that we have had buried. Hence the word coaching to help with that. And then I add in the ability I have to work with energy, the cells in your body, the healer that I am, and we can turn around. Well, no, okay. I was going to say I'm hesitant to say, but no, the truth is we can turn around virtually anything. It will depend on you, where you're willing to go, how much you are willing to let go of, how open-minded you are willing to be, and what you're like truly prepared to just say, okay, enough. And where do I want to go now? And that's part of what is influencing you. So is there something or many things that are influencing you today that are hindering where you might like to go? That are creating maybe not roadblocks, although for some people, for sure, it's going to be like a roadblock, but for others, it might just be little hurdles that you could step over if you choose to. You know, this may go counter to what some people believe, but from my perspective, it really doesn't matter the size, whether we say it's a roadblock, a hurdle, a little mound in the way, or perhaps a hole in the ground that you need to go around, right? There's all these different ways of talking about what might be in front of us, preventing us from traveling in the direction we would like to go. What's important is that you recognize that there is something in the way. When we add too much significance to what it is that's in the way, we then strengthen that influence, that barrier, that whatever it might be, and we start to make it stronger. We give it more strength. As we do that, we give it more influence. We give it more power. By the end of the show today, I'm hoping that you will see how decreasing what is influencing you in your life will increase your power, your ability to make choices and decisions, and empower you to see a new way of being, to look at things perhaps from a different perspective. And in doing that, well, anything can happen, right? I mean, really, anything can happen. So what is influencing you today? What comes to mind when I ask you that question? So I went in and looked at the etymology of the word influence. And I, as you know, as I just said, love words. So I'm going to read to you what I have here. So influence in the 14th century, so really early on, it was an astrological term, streaming ethereal power from the stars when in certain positions, acting upon character or destiny of man. Also, a flow of water. That was an interesting one, as in flowing in, flowing into, stream in, or pour in. And then it went on to say from Middle English. Now, I got to be very honest with you. I'm not exactly sure what the term Middle English means. I didn't have time to actually figure that out. But what it says is it was in reference to any outflowing of energy that produces effect of fluid or vaporous substance, as well as immaterial or unobservable forces, meaning exertion of unseen influence by persons. So this was in the 1580s. This is where it starts to come in that people can be influencing on other people. Capacity for producing effects by insatiable or invisible means, and that was in the mid-1600s. But I absolutely love that at the very beginning, it was astrological. It was planetary. It was the moon. It was the stars. It was all of these unseen elements that had, was acting upon character or destiny of men. And I'm a really big believer in all of that. I am a very big believer in the influences of the moon and what it does as far as messing with us, if you want to put it that way. But it has very strong influences. Whether you buy into that or not is okay. But I do run a private group on Facebook, a private membership group called Cosmic Harmony, Balancing Emotions and Energies. And I work with people around new moons and full moons. So you can look for that or get in touch with me if you'd like more information. But we need to go. We have our first break. We are at that time already. So thank you for being here with me, right? I'm Karen Leslie. You can send me an email, karen@karenleslie.ca, ask about Cosmic Harmony, or send me questions about shows you would love me to do, or just, general feedback. Hey, how are the shows? Do you like them? Do you love them? If you do, please share them. And please like them and subscribe to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, wherever it is you love to tune in and listen to me. Whether you're here with me on the Inspired Choices Network using our mobile app, or Spotify or Audible or iHeartRadio, there are so many places you can be. But please subscribe, and then you'll know about my shows every week. All right. Thank you. Don't go away. While we're on our break, think about what has been influencing you so far to this point today, and we'll continue our conversation when we get back. Thanks, everyone. We'll be right back.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. So, did you think about it over the break? What has been influencing you today? Any ideas come up? Did you get a couple of ahas? Did you get a couple of uh-ohs? You could go either way. Maybe you had both. Right? That's such a big, full question. There's so much that can come through as to what influences us every day and through practically every moment of every day. Right? The programming that we grew up with, the programming that we are still carrying with us, even if you have been doing work, inner child work, confidence work, like any kind of work for yourself, to feel better about yourself, to learn more about who you are, to learn more about who you've been that hasn't been comfortable, however it might show up for you, right? This is all greatly influenced by the programming when we were young, that 0 to 7 time frame that myself and so many people talk about as being that critical years that establishes how our brain is going to start to think, how our brain is going to be active in reinforcing everything that was given to us during that time. So we have all of those influences coming in nonstop all the time. Even when you work to change the programming, to let go of some of it, erase it, whatever words you want, and create a new way of looking at something, truthfully, all we're doing is we're creating a new program. Now, the key here is we are creating the program. The program is not given to us, which is what happens when we're young. But it's still a program. And it's important to remember that. And it's important to remember that at some point, that program, the new one that you felt very excited about and makes you feel really good, at some point, that program may be influencing you in a way that's not working anymore. And that's okay. It's actually really cool and a really good thing, right? We're meant to be changing. You guys know this, like we're all energy. It's always meant to be changing. And when you get that idea that a new way of thinking, a new way of looking at something, a new way of moving, it's no longer working how it did or how you would like it to. It's no longer giving you the results that you are desiring. Awesome. Like fabulous that you see that and you haven't allowed yourself to go into the autopilot of the new program, which is very common. And then you get another choice. Then you can choose to do something different again because you became aware of the influence that that newer program is starting to have on you in a manner that's not working for you. We are never done. You are never done. There is always another way to look at something. And as we grow, as we evolve, if you like, as we experience new things, we are always going to be given an opportunity to look at the programs we have created ourselves and go, okay, is this still working for me in a way that is still contributing to me? Does this contribute to me like it did in the beginning? Has something changed? The influence of going into autopilot with anything is something I want you to be very aware of. The influence creating autopilot is never a contribution to our lives. It is never a contribution to the way you think, to the way you look at something. Setting up a new program for yourself, okay, great. Allow yourself to be aware when that program becomes an unconscious influence and you slip into autopilot. There's shows on autopilot. You can go back and listen to more about it if you want and how all that works. But it's really, really important to recognize when we go there. So that's one way that we are influenced on a day-to-day basis, is zillions, like so many, hundreds of thousands of times, if not millions of times a day, based on these programs, even your new ones, right? Because the mind is going to keep giving you those thoughts over and over again. And it is your ability to maintain consciousness in the present moment that will enable you to recognize when you are having this unconscious influence come in. I hope that made sense. If not, send me an email. We can chat about it, right? So you could maybe say it's beyond programming, but it's really not. It's just a different type of programming. It's new programming you've put in place. And also within programming, especially ones that have been running for a long time, is the program can be triggering. That may sound kind of weird, but the program that's running could be triggering something else. This will start to happen a little more as you start to be more open to looking at what you're doing and what you're thinking, what masks you've been wearing and why, what you're hiding, all that whole thing. Like, it's a massive area. But what I want you to understand is the programming could be influencing a trigger or a reaction or something from within you that is not comfortable. It can be, an old program can be influenced in a way that keeps bringing up maybe moments of anger. And you're thinking, like, I keep getting angry, yet I know I'm not, like, naturally or deep down an angry person, but I'm really recognizing that I'm getting ticked off. It's so much easier. I seem to have less patience. I'm more irritable. Like, what is this? Right? So this is the influence coming in, causing the trigger. And when you start to recognize or say, hey, but I'm not an angry person. I don't wish to be an angry person all the time. There's gold. When you start to see that, then you can now work with it, change it, and understand that influence that's coming into play. Not always easy to do on your own, but you certainly can. But you may wish to find someone to work with. And from so many different areas, there's so many ways you can come at this. But it's phenomenal. It's brilliant. And it just makes my heart just open up even more when I see that somebody is developing that ability to be more conscious in the moment and catching all of this. When you're more conscious in the moment, you actually prevent so many external influences from coming in and messing with you. And you prevent that automatic programming from having the same hold on you. Because when you're being conscious, you're being open, you're asking questions, then you give yourself the ability, the permission to actually see what is behind and what is more in the unconscious area that you're now willing to look at. So yeah, there's a ton going on as to what could be influencing you. And then, we could be looking at grandmothers, people who passed on. There's so much there as well. There is, past trauma that you may have experienced that has become on autopilot with the influence of triggers or words or smell, whatever it might be for you, that is causing great difficulties and influencing you, preventing you from living your life the way you would want, because that influence becomes restricting, preventing you from living the life, getting through your day the way you would like to be able to. Right? You've got the whole world out there with all of its muck and mire and things going on in your own country and in virtually every country around the world. I can say every country's got its concerns and issues going on in whatever way. If you are intuitive, or if you're an empath, or if you feel energy, there's another influence, because you can be picking up on what's going on, and it will again be directing how you are going to behave and think, and what you may or may not choose to do from these outside influences that can be thousands and thousands of miles away from you. And I may have just lost some of you. That may be a little too much. That's okay. Not to worry about it. Take away what's comfortable from what I'm sharing today and just leave the rest here. It's okay. I'll hold on to it. I don't mind. It's all coming from my perception, my experience, and the learnings that I have through personal experience, courses, books, like teachings, all kinds of different areas, which have had, right, have had an influence on me. We will never be without influence. It's how we choose to work with it, and if we're willing to actually see what is influencing us. Right. We need to go for our second break now. So thank you for being here with me on the Inspired Choices Network. I'm thrilled that you join me each week, and thank you to those of you who listen on the replays. We're going to take just a short break, and then we'll be back and continue to talk about, okay, what is influencing you today? And now that we've gone through a whole bunch of different ideas as to what it could be, what do we do with it? All right. I'll see you on the other side of the break. Thanks, everyone.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Hello again. Thank you for being here with me. So before the break, I was saying, all right, think a little bit about what's influencing you today. And then when we come back, we're going to think, okay, now what are we going to do with all of this? Such a big question. And I'm going to do my very best to kind of wrap it all in together for you and give you some ideas about it. But it's really important that we understand the vastness of what is influencing us. I think many people, especially if you listen to a lot of people with similar views or look at energy and healing and things in a similar way to what I do, is you'll have a good understanding of the programs, of the teachings you had when you were younger, and how they are influencing you today, what they are adding to your life, and maybe for a lot of them, like, what are they detracting? How are they getting in the way? So that's all really well and good. It's taking it now to that next level beyond programming and understanding, and this may get way too woo-woo for you, but understanding the energetics of just matter around us. Everything is connected. Wow, I really wasn't going to go here when I was thinking about the show. Anyways, we're here. Everything is connected. Use the word quantum entanglements. Use whatever terminology you want. Light matrix is one that I use. There's so many ways to try and bring the brain and mind into this so that it can conceptualize what I'm talking about. But really, everything is connected. You know, energy cannot stop moving. It cannot stop changing. It's always, always on the go, which keeps us alive. Truly, it keeps you and me alive. It's vital that this energy is always flowing. However, saying that and then thinking, sure, but it can also be bringing to me stuff I don't want. And that happens all the time to every single one of us. It's what are we going to do with it? How are we going to recognize that? I could have been unnerved, upset, distracted by anything like that when my grandmother, showed herself just before we went on air. Instead, it was like, okay, thank you for that. Had a quick word with her. You can stay, but you cannot be influencing me in this way. So I can be aware, I can be present, but I can set parameters around how I'm going to choose to be influenced. So that's one thing to keep in mind. You can set parameters as to how, especially when we're working with the spirit realm, on how you wish to be influenced. Your guides, your angels, they will all take direction from you. So give them the direction, help them out. That will make some of the influences that you may be aware of, consciously or unconsciously, talk to them, whether you believe it or not, talk to them, see what happens. But that's one way to work with what's influencing you. Another area is, how do I want to put that? Okay, you've got the spirit realm that's maybe not as kind, that's not like my grandmother, wanting to be helpful, excited to be here. You've got others that may think, let's kind of knock her over a little bit. Maybe she's saying a little too much and creating too much empowerment and potency within herself that we're going to get kicked to the curb. That's also a possibility. Strengthening yourself. When you strengthen yourself in your beliefs that are yours and that contribute to you, then you strengthen yourself in the physical plane and in all of the other energetic realms as well. There is other work that you can learn and things where I'm not going to get into that, but I want to bring that to your attention for whatever reason. As I say, I wasn't planning on getting into that, but here we go. That's fine. That's live shows. There is the influence of, which I mentioned very briefly at the very beginning in the first segment, moon and stars and all of that. Allowing ourselves the awareness of what is coming in gives us the power and the empowerment to work with it and to change it. Now, some are going to argue with me and that you can't change the influence of something. There will be some things that are more difficult to change the influence of. I will agree on that. But I am not going to agree that we can't change something. Maybe I'm just an eternal optimist. But I do believe that we have the ability to change anything. Is it going to take some work? Yeah, of course it is. So maybe it's the fact that it's going to take work that leads us to believe that we can't change it. Whatever that is, whatever that program is within you, whatever that thought pattern or belief is, that's okay. But recognize that that's what you believe, and this is what I believe, and it's all right for us to agree to disagree. But when we understand that there's this influence that's coming in, then that puts us in a position of authority and to change something. It helps to bring us out of victimhood. It helps to bring us out of that, I don't know, pity parties. There's nothing wrong with them, but bookend them. Give yourself a time frame when that's a contribution to you, and then move out of that energy, because they can be healing. They really can, but not to hang out in for extended periods of time. Then, right? Then that's when you start to get that unconscious or automatic autopilot influence coming in based on your choice to be in that space or that energy. Then we have that influence running the show. So there's also the influences that happen in the material world with our families or with our bosses or, friends, whomever it might be, but with other people in physical form. Again, the principle's the same no matter what the influence is or where it's coming from. Knowing what works for you, having that courage to step into seeing yourself is so empowering. Now, initially, you may just see, acknowledge, and choose to stay the same and choose to stay in that influence, and that's okay. The fact that you even allowed yourself to see it, to have that awareness, is brilliant. Like I'm all about get the awareness, allow yourself to have that little bit of knowledge, that little bit of different information that gives you something else, a new way, a slightly different way of looking at something or seeing what the impact or influence is. You don't have to change anything. You certainly don't have to do it immediately. You can choose to, sure. But the fact that you had that awareness, that you allowed that just makes everything in me. Like I can just feel the cells in my body. Like it's like they're effervescent, especially in my gut area. There's this real surge here. Like this is so good. This is how you start to work with what is influencing you and who is influencing you. This is key. Recognizing the habitual patterns and how that's influencing how you go through your day is really important. And are you following that pattern by your choice? Somebody said it would be a good idea for you. You're doing it and you don't even know why. Okay, that's something to look at. And as you look at it, you start to alter the influence that it has over you. You start to step into understanding more about yourself. Now, please, 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 when you start to understand more of yourself, when you start to see how you've let things influence you, don't go into judgment. Please do your very best to not go into self-judgment or self-criticism, self-hatred, whatever it might be. And there will be a real tendency to do that for most people. That is an auto response from your mind. It will be from past programming that got triggered and that's coming to the surface saying, what are you thinking? We don't do that. You don't do that. You don't think that way. It will be uncomfortable, but it's a good thing because you broke through something. You got an awareness that you didn't let yourself have before. And that new awareness will start to minimize the influence that you saw and how it is affecting you on a day-to-day basis. This works for the who is influencing you and the what is influencing you today. Right. We're coming up to our last break. There's been a lot of information shared, some unplanned, but that's okay. I am very woo-woo. I am very spiritual. I work with, I'm always learning. I was almost going to say I understand, but you know what? Truthfully, I don't fully understand the spirit world. I have a lot of knowledge, but I don't have a complete set of knowledge. There's no encyclopedia in my head right now that I can reference for it. It's time for more of that of me to be shared with you. That was something I was hiding for a long time because I didn't know how it would be received. But the more I hid this, the more there was this influence over me, preventing how I was allowing myself to show up, preventing me from continuing to grow and evolve and learn new things, because I had made a choice as to who I thought I needed to be, had to be, was demanding I be. So I put the stopgaps in place for further learning, for further change, for further choices. When I saw that, it was like, okay, enough. So you got more woo-woo today. Let me know what you think of woo-woo. You can send me an email. Let me know if you want more. We'll see how all that goes. Think about this, maybe if you like, as we go to our third and final break. When we come back, we'll wrap all this up. We'll try and put it together in a manageable way so that you actually feel more empowered with working with the influences that you have around you or within you, versus feeling, oh my goodness, she has said so much, I don't know how to cope with this. So we'll put all this together when we come back. We'll just be a couple of minutes, everyone. Don't go away. I'll see you on the other side. Thank you.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. So I just had a comment in the chat. So much to process today. And yes, so there was a ton of information shared with you today. This is a really big topic. The word influence has so many ways of looking at it, and it comes into play in absolutely every area of our life. So for those of you who are feeling like, oh my gosh, there's so much to process. Oh, and another comment, I'm still trying to put together what is influencing me, LOL, right? There's so many ways to look at this. Step one, if you can at least acknowledge that there are influences, that you are being influenced, whether it be by a something or a someone, it doesn't matter. Step one, will you allow yourself to see and accept that you are always being influenced? And when we think, well, I'm influencing myself, it's my idea, my thought, double check, triple check. Is this an old program that is running, that you have become so comfortable and familiar with, that you believe that you are influencing, you are empowering yourself, when truthfully you're not? Or if you have made a new new program, if you have created a new way of looking at something, could it possibly have run its course for you? Is it time to create another new one? And don't get discouraged. Please don't get discouraged with thinking that, wow, I'm always going to be creating something new. Yeah, we really are. If we want to keep changing, enjoying, expanding, attracting new things into your life, new experiences, more abundance, more creativity, more fun, whatever it might be. That will only happen when we step into being the person who will look at what's influencing us or who is influencing us, be honest with ourselves as to the impact of that. And if it's something we don't wish to continue with, having the courage, the drive, the desire to let it go and then create something different. It's so important to be more conscious and more present as often as you can during your day. Is it going to be possible to be 100%? I don't think so. Am I 100% conscious all the time? Oh gosh, no. I mean, that was a huge no. No, I'm not. Am I more present during my day than I used to be? Oh, yes, I so am. That's a really strong yes for me. And this awareness, this knowledge that I'm sharing with these answers is because I'm also engaging with my body. When we're unconscious, we are not engaging with our bodies, or at least certainly not the same way that we can tap into its wisdom and its support and the knowledge it has to give us. So there's a lot to look at. That's very cool. It's all right. You'll figure it out, right? Step one, as they say, acknowledge there's the influences. Have a look and see what they are. You may wish to journal on this for a little while. You know, if you have time in the mornings or evenings, you know, where you spend quiet time, a sacred space, and you just allow yourself maybe to free write, whatever it might be. Just ask, okay, so what influenced me today? And let that pen go. I would love it if you use pen and paper, any color pen you like, any type of paper you wish, instead of typing, because there are neurological and energetic benefits to pen and paper versus typing. Or you could speak it, you could record it, and then you could listen to it. And as you're listening to it, hear the different tones, hear the different vibrations and the intensities in your speech, but don't speak in rote or whatever. Speak in that way. It's just like the free writing. Just allow it to come out and hear how you say things from a different way, depending on what you are recording, what you're saying to your recording. That can be really interesting to do as well. All right. So influence is everywhere, and you can take it back and you can change it. Now, one of the ways people actually try to look at what's influencing them and to try and bring information in is by using oracle cards. And that is next week's topic. Okay, the show is going to be all about oracle cards. Helpful or a distraction? So whether you use them or not, whether you believe in them or not, join me next week, because I think it's going to be kind of a fun conversation. As you know, I use oracle cards. I didn't bring them into today's show, but I do use them a lot. And am I using them in a way that's always contributing to me? Or are there times that we use them? Or maybe it's a distraction. So you're going to have to tune in next week to find out and see. In the meantime, I hope that you were able to take away a different understanding of the word influence. I hope you were able to take away, you know, as Wayne Dyer says, when you change the way you look at things, what you look at changes. Okay, or the thing you look at changes, however it goes, because that is key to growing and evolving. And
Thank you for listening to Cultivating Kindness with Karen. Karen Leslie returns Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can find Karen at KarenLeslie.ca and follow her on social media. Until next Wednesday, Karen is sending you waves of kindness for a fabulous week. Remember, it's only you who has the power to be and receive the kindness required to change your life.